There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one of our weekly When Kids Lead episodes. My name's Todd Neslony. I'm the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership at TEPSA, and I'm here with my buddy, Adam DeVico.
Happy Friday. What's up, Todd? It's always great to connect with you on our weekly episodes of When Kids Lead. We have had just an amazing group over the past, it's had to be like 3 months now. This amazing group of young leaders doing just phenomenal things. And, each week we're just blown away by the amount of talent and drive and innovation that these young leaders bring to us.
You know, and we share every time too, Adam, that you and I sit here going, gosh, I wish we were that with it when we were their age, because of the things they're doing is just incredible. So go back and check out some of our past When Kids Lead episodes to learn from us some others. But today we want to introduce you to somebody new that we just found out about recently on social media. And I love what she's doing. I can't wait for you all to meet her. And her name is Lily. So Lily, welcome with us today.
Thank you.
So Lily, tell me a little bit about, tell us who you are, where you're from, how old are you?
So I'm Lily Keim. I am the CEO of Lola and Lily's Pastry Shop, and I am in Mansfield, Ohio.
And I love how you just said you're the CEO of Lola and Lily's Pastry Shop, because you are how old?
I am 14.
And you are a CEO. I just love that so much that you can say that. That's so cool.
I know. I mean, not many of us can say CEO at our upper age. So to say that at 14, that's phenomenal. So Lily, tell us a little bit about your pastry shop. I mean, this is really cool. Tell us about it.
So we are a bakery for dogs and humans, and we focus on sharing the delicious taste of human treats with your dogs.
And so where did this idea even come from? Like, have you always been a dog lover?
Yes, I had a dog when I was very little, and I still have her. Ever since I was little, I loved to bake, and I knew I wanted to be in the food industry and have a restaurant or a bakery. And then when I got my dog Lola, which is the Lola and Lola Lily, I was like, I want to make dog treats for her because I want to know exactly what's going into these dog treats. So I made them, and I love them. So I was like, I'll just put them together and have a dog and human bakery.
I love it. Now, so how did, you kind of gave us the story of the inspiration. How about from the logistics side? How do you start that? I mean, where do you begin?
So actually, one of my friends was in this thing called YEA, which is Young Entrepreneurs Academy. And they help kids who have an idea that want to be a CEO, and they grow it, and they actually they help you be a CEO. So she introduced me to that, and I joined just last August. And we had an investors panel, which is where people take their money and give it to them, and then they divide this money between all the kids to help them start their business. And I got $580 from that.
That is amazing. Well, I love the whole idea behind this company, because my wife and I, in our little community, we have a little dog and cat store that specializes in making sure that things are healthy and that things aren't coming with plastics in them or all these other things that aren't good for dogs. And so do you find it kind of challenging, though, when you're baking stuff to find things that work for humans but can also work for dogs? Because we know there's some things that dogs can't eat.
Yeah, so actually I get my human recipes, and then I get a basic dog bone and stuff, and add stuff to make that into the same flavor. So I have snickerdoodles and then doggy doodles, which are dog versions of snickerdoodles.
I love it.
That's awesome. So I guess, all right, so walk us through, I guess, since last August. So you got your seed money. Was it kind of like a Shark Tank kind of thing where you had to present?
Yeah, we had to make a whole business plan, which is all the finances and all that stuff. And that was what they were leading us. They were teaching us how to do that, and then we made it. And then we had the investor panel.
Okay, so you got your money, and then from there, what's kind of your next step? Do you have to start researching, how am I going to get the inventory? What does the past year look like for you?
So I am going into this local kitchen in Mansfield, Ohio. It's called the Entrepreneur Kitchen, and basically you rent out the kitchen and you bake there. since I have dogs in my house, I can't register my kitchen because the dogs are always in there. So I'm gonna, they're like finishing up painting and stuff. So I'm gonna go there in about a month and start baking there. And then once I have enough money, sometime I will get a storefront and have an actual bakery.
God, and I hear you talking about this, and the way you talk about it, I'm like, I cannot believe she's 14, 15 years old and being able to do this. But, I love looking at your site and those photos and how you have cupcakes and pupcakes,
Yes.
scones and dog bones, cake and a cupcake. And so, you offer such variety, and you now that people can order online and check it out too. So this whole process, I'm sure, has been exciting. But what is one of the biggest moments that has stood out for you that you've enjoyed the most through this?
I just loved when I was getting all the recipes and just starting out, because I was just researching recipes and like making them my own recipes. And I love baking. So my favorite thing is that like I bake almost every single day and deliver things every single day and make relationships with my customers.
That's awesome. Now, obviously, we live in a different kind of time right at the moment, but there will be a time when you do have to probably return to school. And so what have you thought about kind of what is it going to look like as you have to kind of be a student and an entrepreneur, a business owner all at the same time?
So my school is having this part where there's online school. So they have like half digital school, and then you can also go into school. So I'm going to do the online portion this year, so then I can work while also doing school and combining those together.
So, I know when people start these ideas, they always have huge dreams, and obviously we can't go huge right away. What is one of your like ultimate dreams with Lola and Lily's?
I would like to have a storefront in my downtown, because they're always like everyone's storefronts are so cute, and I'm really excited to have a storefront and design it how I would like it, and like have that be my space.
I love
That's awesome.
Well, we want to invite everybody too. We've got the link scrolling at the bottom. We also put it in the comments on Facebook. Go check her out on lolaandlilies.com. Just read the story, hear about it, see what this young girl is doing. I'm just blown away by this. I know my wife was already like, can we order some of that stuff? And I'm like, let me look at it. And so this is just such a cool thing. I love that it comes from your heart. I love that your dog is part of the name of the company as well. And just hearing about your dreams of this is just such an exciting thing. I love seeing kids have these dreams and aspirations and not just sit on them, like really pursue them and try and do trial and error. And so I've got to ask, is there something you've tried to do with Lola and Lily's that just didn't work out, or a recipe that you were like, we tried that and that did not work out the way I wanted it to?
Yes. So I was trying to make, instead of a dog recipe, a human like combining them. I tried to substitute things in the human recipe, and that did not work out. I had to have a totally different recipe.
Yeah, and I mean, trial and error is a huge part of this. Has there been a learning curve in terms of, there's just so many laws and regulations and, safety things that have to go into these types of businesses? Have you kind of had to learn as you go along, or what are some things that you have learned along the way?
So I thought for a bakery, you would just start baking. Like, I didn't know you had to have a baking license. You had to get a surf safe. You had to like be actually a part of your state, like as an actual business, and like register for that. And also those costed money. So I had to like figure out my bills and stuff. And I didn't know it was this hard to own a business. I knew it was hard, but not this hard.
So, ever since this idea came into your head, has your family been totally on board, or did it take some convincing on your end to convince them to jump on board with this?
So when my friend first told me about the YEA, I was like, Mom, I'm going to do this. And she was like, you should wait until you're at least like 16 to start owning a business. And I was like, Mom, I know this is what I want to do in my life. So then we went to the thing where they like told us about it. And then I wrote in my notebook, because I was taking notes. I was like, Mom, I'm definitely doing this. And she also helps me with finances and stuff. So
that's great.
That's awesome. So I guess, there might be people watching this now with, children your age. What's a piece of advice that you can offer, young leaders, young entrepreneurs like yourself? Maybe it's something that you've learned along the way or just something that's really can inspire others.
So I would say that I know this is like very, like everyone says this, but follow your dreams, because I've been doing that and I have a business now. So like actually, like not just dream about doing something, like actually act upon that and to make it a reality.
And that's beautiful advice. And so the last question I'll ask you before we jump into our next game is, there's a lot of adults who join these conversations and listen, and either who are educators working with kids, they have their own children at home, or they're interacting with kids in different ways. What advice would you have for adults to really support their kids as they come up with crazy ideas?
I would say to stand by them, and if things don't work out, just be there and to help them out if something doesn't work out.
I love that.
That's awesome. We're so proud of you. So Todd mentioned that we have a game that we'd love to play with everyone each week, and it's just a lighthearted would you rather. So I'll kick it off. And our first one is, would you rather have the ability to fly or to have superhuman strength, and why?
Probably fly, so I can fly places and get there faster.
I always feel the same way. Like that's the same way I'd answer mine. So thinking about that now, I know we talked about superheroes. So let's pretend you don't have the superhero powers. So would you rather own your own airplane or own your own boat?
Probably airplane.
For the same reason?
Yeah.
Gotta get there fast. Time is money. Speaking of money, our next one is, would you rather have $1 million right now or $1,000 every week for the rest of your life?
Probably the last one, because if I have $1 million, I would just spend that right away. So I get to start over every week.
Yep, I can totally relate. So, the next one we have, Lily, is a little silly. Adam came up with this one, so don't judge me. But actually, this kind of is an interesting one considering you and your company. So the question is, would you rather have a dog head and a human body, or a human head and a dog body?
Probably the dog body. Because if I had a dog head, I would still have to do human responsibilities. And a dog with a human head, I can just sleep all day.
I've not heard that answer yet, and I love it so much.
I like the rationale there. All right. So would you rather be in a water balloon fight or a food fight?
Water balloon fight. It's a lot funner than food fight.
And it's easier.
Even as a baker, you'd rather still do water balloon. All right.
Yeah, it'll be a lot.
So last question, and before I ask this one, do you have your own cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, so This one may be a little tough then for you. So would you rather live without your cell phone or live without air conditioning or heating?
Air conditioning and heating.
You didn't even think about it. Like you just right
Not
away.
even a second thought. Not even a second thought.
You can just keep putting on like jackets and stuff when you're cold.
But you can't not have the cell phone. It's important.
I agree. I'd rather go without air conditioning or heating too than give up my cell phone, so I can relate.
Yeah. Well, Lily, we are so proud of you and impressed. And, Todd and I are just so thankful that we got to talk to you today and meet you and learn more about your business. So
I know when these random strangers reach out and say, hey, we'd love to interview you for this thing we do. And you were like, sure. I was like, yes, another awesome kid that will actually talk with us. And so we're so excited to hear from you and can't wait to watch your journey and see where it goes next and what happens next. And we encourage everybody, go check out lolaandlilies.com to learn more about what Lily is doing and to support her and her journey. Lily, we wish you all the best and thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure you grab a copy of our brand new book, When Kids Lead, that this entire podcast and video cast and everything else is based off of. We hope everybody has a great afternoon and we'll see you again next week at what time, Adam?
2 p.m. Eastern, 1